coffee house where we discuss board games, miniatures, and painting them, not necessarily in that order. If any of those things appeal to you and you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscription down below, turning on notifications, and giving this video a like. Seriously helps me out. It helps the channel grow, especially with YouTube's new algorithm. It is really hard to reach anybody at this stage in this section of YouTube. Now, with that out of the way, let's jump on in. Painters, here we are. We are at the final sprint of Season 1 of Death May Die. So I saved the investigators for last for a couple of reasons. The first being that I just find the investigators the least interesting things to paint in the box. Other than that, I plan on just dropping these videos in rapid succession. That way you can just breeze on through them. They're really easy to paint. There's nothing fancy here. A couple things I want to touch on though. First being, you're not going to be doing anything that you haven't seen. All right, we're going to be doing a little bit of OSL, and we're going to be doing a little bit of freehanding. Both of these steps on these models are totally optional. You don't have to do them. The minis are still going to look great whether you do them or not. I just think it elevates the minis to the next level and just makes them pop just that much more on the table. You don't have to do it though. Totally cool. The other thing that I want to touch on is eyes. So in the majority or all of the monster painting videos, I have done the eyes, and they're easy to do and they look good. For whatever reason, monster eyes are always sculpted to be easier to paint versus human eyes on CMON's models in particular. So having said that, I don't paint the eyes on these models. You don't need to paint the eyes on these models. Well-painted eyes, you have to look for to see. Bad painted eyes will ruin an entire model. The risk-reward factor is not worth it for a board game under most circumstances, in my opinion. So unless you are super, super confident with your brush control, leave out the eyes. Nobody's going to notice, nobody's going to care, and it's really not worth making your model look cross-eyed and ridiculous, because 100% that will stick out versus a well-painted set of eyes. Now that I've gotten all that out of the way, let's go ahead and crank through these models, and I'll see you on the other side. Alright guys, we have our guy all primed in 100% gray coverage. So we're going to do our traditional skin of Peachy Flesh and Crusader. We're going to mix those in a 2-to-1 ratio. If you want the figure more tan, you're going to want to go 2 parts of Crusader. If you want the figure more white, you're going to want to go 2 parts of the Peachy. And we're just going to go ahead and cover his hands and face in that nice tone. From here, we're going to move on to Brownish Decay. And we're not going to use a whole lot of this. We're just going to do the inside here of his sweater vest, because that is absolutely a sweater vest. Moving on to Algae Green, we're going to go ahead and do his sport coat, because just like that is a sweater vest, this is absolutely a sport coat. He's totally the type to be rocking a sport coat over a sweater vest. Make sure you get the insides here. And now we're we're going to switch over to Sand Golem. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do his pants in this color. You can be pretty generous with the coverage here. And we're also going to do his hair in this color as well. In the art, he's kind of got like a sandy brown kind of hair color, and I think this works just fine for that. Moving on to Satchel Brown, we're going to go ahead and touch up this shotgun of his, get the butt of it, and we're also going to get the pump as well, the pump handle. And we're going to touch his tie with it while we're at it, because why not? Moving on to Grim Black, we're going to go ahead and take care of his shoes. As well as the rest of the shotgun. I know often we use the speed paint metallics for the weapons, but the shotguns, in my opinion, look really good with just the black on them. Now we're going to do some matte white. We're just going to dab inside here to clean up that space, his white t-shirt, or button down. Actually, it's definitely not a t-shirt in his attire. Now we're already done with him, so we're going to go ahead and move on to Elizabeth, primed 100% coverage in gray. We're going to use a combination of warrior skin and satchel brown for her skin tone, so it's going to be 2 parts warrior skin, 1 point of the satchel brown. And then we're going to go ahead and mix those two together, and we're going to get to painting her flesh. Now, initially, I wasn't looking at the artwork, and I thought that she was wearing white gloves for whatever reason. She is not, so that's why you're not seeing me paint her hands right now. Just go ahead and paint her hands, because she's not wearing white gloves, as I had thought. I should have probably checked, but it is what it is. Gonna go ahead and do her feet and ankles. And now we're going to switch to maize yellow to get to work on that dress of hers. Nice and vibrant. We want it good and bright. No need to go super, super heavy with the paint here. We're just doing a little section at a time, a little column at a time. She's got stitching around her sleeves or lack thereof. So do your best to not cover that with the yellow, but if you do, it's no big deal. It's gonna get painted anyway, but that's why I'm avoiding that, because that will be a different color. And here's where I realized my mistake with her hands, so I just wanted to show you that. Caught it, corrected it, no worries. Moving on to Algae Green, we're gonna do her bow, I guess. Ribbon, whatever you want to call this. Goes all the way around her. and her hat. Moving on to Cloudburst Blue, we're going to go ahead and get the undersides and sides of her dress. So she's wearing this kind of underneath the dress. And Cloudburst Blue is just the best color for this, whatever this is. My camera's going to go out of focus, but you know what I'm doing. And we're also going to get her hat as well. Now we're just going to do the details with some matte white. We're going to pick all this stuff out, make it nice and vibrant. You don't have to go heavy with the paint. You don't have to put a lot of pressure on your brush. Just kind of gently glide your brush across these surfaces and the paint will do the job for you. See, I'm being very gentle here. Same thing with her pearl necklace. Gently, just pulling that brush across the top of the surface, and the paint does the work. Pearls around her wrist. This lady loves her pearls. Go ahead and we're going to switch over to greeny gold, and we're going to get that bit of jewelry on her other wrist with this. Now we're going to take some matte black acrylic and we're going to do her hair. She has such a small surface of hair that using the Grim Black speed paint is risky due to the danger of it running all over the place on such a small surface. So I find acrylics always work best for these smaller areas. Now we're going to use some enchanted steel to do that nice firearm of hers. And her shoes, of course, in matte black. Now naturally you're going to black both of these bases with that matte black acrylic, and if you followed along, your final results are going to end up looking something like this. Alright guys, that is going to do it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much if you're painting along. If you are painting along and you're having fun and you've learned some things, even if you've just learned to enjoy painting, consider checking out my Patreon, which has a link down below for about the price of a cup of coffee every single month. You can seriously help me out, keep the lights on, keep these videos cranking out, and I genuinely appreciate every single one of you. Shout out to all of my top tier patrons. Dan, Steven, Tyler, JB, I love you guys so much. Without you, I wouldn't even be able to begin to do this, so thank you so much for all of your support. Genuinely appreciate it. Other than that, guys, again, if you could leave a like, if you could leave a comment, any engagement, any sharing, any little bit that you can do without spending $1 helps me tremendously, and I greatly appreciate it. Again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for painting along. Tell me how your painting process is going. If you are painting, how far you've gotten. If you're happy with these results, if you're happy with my results, I'd love to know. Every little bit of feedback helps me out. Keep painting, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.